Atomic habits make it obvious. We underestimate how much our brains and bodies can do without thinking. You do not tell your hair to grow, your heart to pump, your lungs to breathe, or your stomach to digest. And yet your body handles all this and more on autopilot. This is one of the most surprising insights about our habits. You don't need to be aware of the cue for a habit to begin. Our responses to these cues are so deeply encoded that it may feel like the urge to act comes from nowhere. We must begin the process of behavior change with awareness. Before we can effectively build new habits, we need to get a handle on our current ones. The first step to changing bad habits is to be on the lookout for them. If you feel like you need extra help, then you can try pointing and calling in your own life. Say out loud the action that you are thinking of taking and what the outcome will be. If you want to cut back on your junk food habit but notice yourself grabbing another cookie, say out loud, "I'm about to eat this cookie, but I don't need it. Eating it will cause me to gain weight and hurt my health." Hearing your bad habits spoken aloud makes the consequences seem more real. It adds weight to the action rather than letting yourself mindlessly slip into an old routine. We tell ourselves, "I'm going to eat healthier" or "I'm going to write more," but we never say when and where these habits are going to happen. People who make a specific plan for when and where they will perform a new habit are more likely to follow through. Many people think they lack motivation when what they really lack is clarity. It is not always obvious when and where to take action. Some people spend their entire lives waiting for the time to be right to make an improvement. Implementation intention is a plan you make beforehand about when and where to act. The simple way to apply this strategy to your habits is to fill out this sentence: I will behavior at time in location. I will meditate for 1 minute at 7 a.m. in my kitchen. I will study Spanish for 20 minutes at 6 p.m. in my bedroom. I will exercise for 1 hour at 5 p.m. in my local gym. Give your habits a time and a space to live in the world. The goal is to make the time and location so obvious that with enough repetition you get an urge to do the right thing at the right time, even if you can't say why. Habit stacking is a special form of an implementation intention. Rather than pairing your new habit with a particular time and location, you pair it with a current habit. The key is to tie your desired behavior into something you already do each day. The habit stacking formula is after current habit, I will new habit. After I pour my cup of coffee each morning, I will meditate for 1 minute. After I take off my work shoes, I will immediately change into my workout clothes. After I sit down to dinner, I will say one thing I'm grateful for that happened today. The specificity is important. The more tightly bound your new habit is to a specific cue, the better the odds are that you will notice when the time comes to act. Environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. Despite our unique personalities, certain behaviors tend to arise again and again under certain environmental conditions. You don't have to be the victim of your environment. You can also be the architect of it. Every habit is initiated by a cue, and we are more likely to notice cues that stand out. If you want to remember to take your medication each night, put your pill bottle directly next to the faucet on the bathroom counter. If you want to practice guitar more frequently, place your guitar stand in the middle of the living room. The power of context also reveals an important strategy. Habits can be easier to change in a new environment. It helps to escape the subtle triggers and cues that nudge you toward your current habits. Go to a new place, a different coffee shop, a bench in the park, a corner of your room you seldom use, and create a new routine there. When you can't manage to get an entirely new environment, redefine or rearrange your current one. Create a separate space for work, study, exercise, entertainment, and cooking. The mantra I find useful is one space, one use. If you're overweight, a smoker, or an addict, you've been told your entire life that it is because you lack self-control, maybe even that you're a bad person. The idea that a little bit of discipline would solve all our problems is deeply embedded in our culture. Perseverance, grit, and willpower are essential to success, but the way to improve these qualities is not by wishing you were a more disciplined person, but by creating a more disciplined environment. Bad habits are autocatalytic. The process feeds itself. They foster the feelings they try to numb. You feel bad, so you eat junk food. Because you eat junk food, you feel bad. One of the most practical ways to eliminate a bad habit is to reduce exposure to the cue that causes it. Remove a single cue and the entire habit often fades away. If you can't seem to get any work done, leave your phone in another room for a few hours. If you're continually feeling like you're not enough, stop following social media accounts that trigger jealousy and envy. If you're wasting too much time watching television, move the TV out of the bedroom. If you're playing too many video games, unplug the console and put it in a closet after each use. Instead of summoning a new dose of willpower whenever you want to do the right thing, your energy would be better spent optimizing your environment. Make the cues of your good habits obvious and the cues of your bad habits invisible. This is the secret to self-control.